Hello, dear friends. This is Moscow Hawk speaking again. So the tide is getting pretty high, as the Germans, Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor, the Bundeskanzler of Germany, decided to send Leopard tanks to the front in West Russia and in eastern Ukraine. So the Americans, they are stepping in his footsteps and doing the same. Same with Spain, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, many other countries in Europe. This is absolutely a new question. They are writing a new page in this very tragic war. It's escalation. The fact is that Joe Biden, he claimed 9 months ago in March 2022 that they would never send some heavy armory tanks to Ukraine, and that would be the beginning of World War III. So this is now happening to be coming in clear and happening. And the Russians, of course, they are quite furious about this decision because it's quite psychological, big trauma. The Russian people, the nation of people which lived in Soviet Union, and of course of this generation born 35, 25 and so on, because of the 27 million of Soviet citizens which were killed during the World War II Great Patriotic War. It was a quite interesting remark from Annalena Baerbock, the German foreign minister from the Grüne, from the, it was some left-wing Green Party. She acknowledged that and claimed and said just straightforward that Germany was in a war, and whole Europe practically, with Russia. Same came from Biden. He said that US and their allies is at war with Russia. So this theory or hypothesis or something that it's a proxy war, it's quite clear that this is coming true and being proved now by those statements of those two prominent politicians from Germany and from the United States. It's pretty clear that the Russians, they will answer in a quite hard and decisive manner, and this will be escalation of this tragic conflict, which began, of course, just not 11 months ago, but it began at least 9 years ago, or even after the breakup of the Soviet Union. But we will talk about that later. I was today at a TV show, talk show in Zvezda, in a quite popular TV station, and I made a short interview with a friend of mine, Malik Tudakov, who is a specialist in America, and we talked briefly on these matters. But I will show you before that how I went to this TV station. This monument is dedicated to the World War I. This is the Victory Park in Moscow. This is the Arc of Triumph. The Arc of Triumph is from 1812, of course, when the Russians defeated Napoleon. Then Napoleon invaded Russia with huge forces from whole of Europe, but they defeated him. Then a German fellow, Austrian, invaded the Soviet Union, and that operation ended in Berlin, and he committed suicide. And the end of Napoleon was in 1814. So this is Moscow city. It's a BMW from St. Petersburg. 178 is the number. So this is the newest district, Moscow City, with the business centers, office buildings, still under construction. This is a bridge for the trains, and still they are constructing those huge blocks out of beton, concrete, metal, and glass. So I am in the taxi, and we are continuing our trip. The entrance to the TV station. You have two remarkable things here. President Putin. And this is Helsinki. Felix Edmundos Helsinki. Oh, so this is the studio of Zvezda, of the Star television. I'm sitting here with Malik Tutakov.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and he's a specialist in American affairs,
Yes.
What is your topic today?
Let me guess. It's all about, I think, the recent decision of the White House to send Abrams tanks to Ukraine. We'll discuss this, and as well as some new revelations of Biden's scandals around secret documents found in his home.
Okay. The first point, do you think, what can you say about these Abrams tanks the U.S. is going to send?
It's really a serious escalation by the European countries and the United States. Of course, I think it won't turn the tide of this conflict, but I think it will be, yes, a serious task for us to destroy those tanks.
But it won't make any decisive matter. This is not some moment which will decide this story.
Yes.
I mean the quantity, the quality of those tanks.
Yes. I fully agree. I don't think that it will, change the whole conflict. I think, yes, the quality of these tanks are questionable. The quantity is very limited. So, of course, it might help Ukrainian forces to advance at some point, maybe on a small-scale operation. But, of course, I think it won't turn the tide of this conflict.
And they have to send them over, and they are now situated in the States, in North America, those tanks?
Well, we don't know for sure, because the United States, as we know, sent some additional Abrams tanks to Poland already. So there are some tanks that they could send to Ukraine, right now, maybe, yes. Also, we've heard that the United States can and may buy some Abrams tanks from their allies, for example, Kuwait or Morocco or maybe Egypt. They have hundreds of those tanks, but they are pretty old and maybe not, well built for the conflict like Ukrainian. The quality of those tanks, as I said, is very questionable. But anyway, it's a serious escalation. So it's we don't need to underestimate those Western weaponry going to Ukraine.
So Malik, the last question as for now, is it? They claim it's a legal target. So the Russians, they are thinking, and is it possible that they will sink those ships, which will continue coming in with those weaponry and tanks?
I don't think we will sink the ships that will send those tanks. Obviously, yes, but of course, we will do our best to destroy this weaponry and reach some kind of a victory in coming months.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So this was Malik Dudakov. He's a specialist in US and North American affairs. So we will discuss later on this program. We go live 11:20 Moscow local time in like 5 minutes or something. Thank you for now, and we keep contact.
В середине января в афганских соцсетях появилась информация, что фирма Project Ship в Пакистане готовит к отправке на Украину через польский Гданьск 159 контейнеров с оружием и боеприпасами, предназначенных для ВСУ. Затем эта информация была подтверждена надежными источниками.
This is one of those big houses in Moscow. We call them the Seven Sisters, you know. This is the zoo park. It's the zoo, Moscow Zoo, local zoo. Delivery man on a bicycle. They call this Stalinistic architecture. US Embassy. Main enemy is sitting in this house. Unfortunately, it's a fact. Stars and Stripes. But it might be quite possible they are going to shoot at each other. So, as you notice, this is the Union Jack, British Embassy. Huge building. Turns out to be the Canadian embassy at the same time. Modern new building. Not everyone in Moscow agrees. Beautiful one, and this is the White House. Parliament building of the Russian Federation. Front, Hotel Ukraine. They call this the White House, Parliament building of the Russian Federation, of the Supreme Soviet of the RSFSR. It was during October conflict. We have Hotel Ukraine in front. There's a famous bridge in my life. It saved my life because I was standing here in this square, and the sniper was shooting on me, and I managed to run under this very bridge. And this is the White House. Well, White House in Moscow. This was big, huge happenings, and when I ran under this, and this happened in October. The night of 3rd and 4th, the 3rd to 4th of October 1993. Moscow city is behind Ukraine, and this is the bridge over Moskva River.